So I have discovered the use of ND filters while motovlogging, and I absolutely love them. Alright, so I am not a photographer. I am no photography expert. I couldn't even tell you what half the settings mean on a camera, EV and ND and everything else, but ND actually does mean neutral density, and in layman's term, it is a small filter that can go on the end of your camera with a proper adapter, and it basically limits the amount of light that can get to the camera sensor. So when you go in and set up your little GoPro under manual settings and use the appropriate ND filter for whatever ambient light you're shooting in, it can really smooth out the footage, get rid of the graininess, and you're going to get a lot more consistent and stable footage. And I'm going to show you how I've set up my little system here. This adapter that will allow me to mount the different ND filters, I got this off Amazon. It's made for the Hero 5, but Hero 5 doesn't really work that well with the microphone, so I've done a few things here to make it work with the Hero 4, and I'll show you. So on these different neutral density, there are numbers on the outer rim. This is a 52 millimeter because the case I have is threaded for 52 millimeters. These things are really cheap. You can get some off Amazon, you can get them off eBay, or if you want to buy the really high-end photography grade, sky's the limit on the pricing for these things. But for motovlogging, and bugs are going to be smacking it, I bought cheap ones and they seem to work really well. But the lower the number, the less light that it will filter through. So on a super bright sunny day, I've been using 16, and it works out really well. If it's really overcast or dark, late evening, early morning, I'll drop it down to an 8, but typically nothing below that. And I've also got a UV that I put on the outside that protects the ND filter from bugs and everything else as I'm cruising down the road. But check it out how I've got this set up. So this little case here is actually made for the GoPro Hero 5. Drops in, little cover plate goes, slides down, clips on, holds everything in place. Works great for that. Unfortunately, as a lot of people who motovlog and use this for audio as well, you know the audio in the GoPro 5s are kind of crappy, and you have to buy the expensive adapter to use a USB microphone or any other type of microphone. So what I did was I took my Hero 4 Black, which of course is considerably smaller, different lens size, it's more narrow, it's not as tall. So I took this case and cut just a few small pieces of cardboard to hold this thing in place. So I take one piece of cardboard and lay it on the front, and the reason I do that, take up the space in the front instead of the rear, is it can put too much pressure on your power button here and cause the camera not to function right if you're using one touch record. So small piece there to stop right before it gets to the power button, and then I'll lay one piece across the bottom. Then I place the camera in, and then I have a small square that is doubled over that goes in to there, because this, you tighten that down and it puts pressure on the camera. So you go ahead and tighten this down. It doesn't put a lot of pressure, it's just enough to hold it in place, and then slip the backing plate on, and that's that. Pretty simple and straightforward. This thing also came with a lens cap. You can unscrew all of the ND filters. This is the UV. You can see it's just clear. It protects the ND filters. There's that, and then you can see where the lens ends up with the GoPro. Almost dead center, and using the medium field of view, you don't pick up any of the outer rim of the lenses. If you go with linear or wide, you will. The only thing you can't do is get to your menu here to manually turn off and on, so you want to use one touch record. And then of course it's open on this side so you can get to all your USB, HDMI and everything else, and it's in there sturdy. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics of how I've got this thing set up, and I clip it right into my helmet. Once I have everything mounted together, I just use the standard GoPro mount. It slides right onto the helmet. I can press the button with my gloves on, start the record ride, plug my USB microphone right in, and I'm booking. So now that you guys see how everything kind of goes together and how I'm set up, I'll put links to everything below in the description of parts and pieces that I'm using, and also the Pro Tune settings. I'll put those on the screen as well. The footage you're about to watch is going to be 100% unedited, no post-processing, flat color profile, exact settings that I have in the description and posted here. One ND16 filter screwed on with one UV screen, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time.
ladies and gents, that's what ND filters look like while you're out motovlogging. Pretty cool effects.